Hello everyone. So in this video today, I want to talk about how to make friends while solo traveling. So a big thing for people who have never solo traveled and don't fully understand it is, why would you want to be alone when you're traveling? Like, that would be boring. And the truth is, yes, you are solo traveling, but you are never actually alone. There are new people to meet all around, and actually I have made some amazing friends while on my solo travels, and it's an incredible experience. But it's also something that is very nerve-wracking, traveling by yourself, wondering, oh my gosh, how am I going to make friends? Don't worry, I got you. Number one is, when you're booking your hostel, you want to try and find one that has a lot of really good hostel activities. So this is probably the number one way to make friends. So of course, yes, to make friends, you're gonna want to stay in hostels, and try and book ones that are known to be pretty social, that have activities. So like, a lot of excursions that you can go on during the day will be run through the hostel. Like, they might run tours, or at night they might have like a karaoke night, a trivia, a bar crawl, stuff like that. So you know, when the hostel is offering those activities, join into those and you're going to have friends in no time. Number two, so the app that I use to book hostels on is called Hostel World, and they actually have a chat feature on there. Basically, if you book into a hostel, it'll put you into a group chat with all of those people. So it's great for communication. You know, who wants to do this today, whatever. I had never used this feature until I got to Bali, where they don't have very much transportation in between cities. It's kind of up to you to book a Grab driver and go your own way, but that can be very expensive. So I went on the Hostel World chat and I was like, is anyone traveling from here to here tomorrow and want to split a Grab with me? And I was actually able to find two girls who joined my ride, and we ended up hanging out in that next city. We went to the beach, we went to a temple. It was a really great time, great communication to have, or sometimes people will post, hey, like, we're booking a group tour for this and we need a couple more people who wants to join. Like, it's really good for that. So definitely don't overlook that feature. Of course, you can meet people in your room. Although, you know, like, when I first started solo traveling, I kind of assumed that my best friends would be made in my hostel room, but I've actually found that that tends to not be the case. Only a few times have I met someone from my room where it really kind of like worked out. But you just, like, when you're in your room, you want to be friendly, like, smile, say hi. And yeah, actually, when I first landed in Bangkok, I got to my hostel and I was just like very overwhelmed, but I was unpacking my stuff, and then another girl came into the room and she was like, yeah, I also just started my trip, also just got here. And we were like, great, let's go explore the city and get some dinner. So that's an example of something that just like worked out perfectly. Another way to meet people in hostels is in the kitchen. So obviously some places are going to work better for this than others. In Southeast Asia, people don't really use the hostel kitchens to cook their own food, since the meals are so inexpensive anyways. But in Europe, I was cooking, you know, some of my own meals, and I found that in Switzerland, especially because everyone was cooking their own meals there because Switzerland is so expensive, we'd all be cooking up our meals. Then you can just, you know, you're in the kitchen cooking up some pasta right beside someone, and you kind of just start chatting, and then you have someone to eat your dinner with and whatever. So, and next, another little way that you can meet people when you are solo traveling is on travel days. And I would say that aside from hostel activities, this is one of the best and like most underrated ways to meet people. So I never considered this when I first started solo traveling, but on travel days, you know, you could be doing the exact same route as somebody. So it's worth it to kind of look around, say, hey, where are you headed? You know, if you're going on the same bus, who knows, maybe you're gonna stay at the same hostel. I will never ever forget, I think I was in Sevilla, Spain, and I had met a girl in the bathroom this one morning, and then it turns out that we discovered that we're both on the same bus to go to Lagos, Portugal that next morning. It was kind of like an early bus. So when we saw each other, we're like, oh, great, you know? And then there at that bus, we met another girl who was also going to the same place. And then as we were getting off the bus in Lagos, we were getting all of our bags and we met another girl who decided to kind of join into our group. And then we call ourselves the Lagos Bus Girls because we were all like the same age, solo female backpackers, and like those are some of my favorite memories. We explored Lagos together, we had nights out together, and then we all ended up in Lisbon at the same time as well. Actually, one of those girls, we were in Madeira at the same time as well. So it was truly amazing. Like, honestly, I think also in Southeast Asia, I met a lot of people on my travel days, and you kind of just like band together. Like, you're both going on this like long bus or whatever the heck it's gonna be, like boat, whatever. You kind of meet through there and you get to chatting and, oh, you know, what are you doing tomorrow? You're going on this hike? Cool, I'll join you. Like, travel days truly are great for that. Something that you can do, I've never tried this, but you can try dating apps. Supposedly you can meet people on there. Actually, there's this one girl who I met in Indonesia, and I only know this through her Instagram stories, but it looks like she kind of like met a guy and has continued traveling with him, and she went on a date with him on a dating app in Indonesia. So like, kind of cool. And you're not necessarily gonna get a super big amount of locals. You'll probably get a lot of other travelers. So like, I was on the dating apps looking, you know, seeing who's out there, you know, but I never actually met anyone from them. But I suppose it could be kind of a decent way to make a friend if you wanted to. I have never really actually used that method though. And then one more way that you can really make some friends while traveling is at the hostel bar. So I like to try and book hostels that have a bar. And if I've just arrived to a city and it's kind of like evening time, and so I don't know anyone there yet, one thing I've done before is just went and sat in the hostel bar, got a drink, and you don't really need to sit there for very long, and you'll kind of have people around you and chatting, whatever. You know what? A big thing that I want to say about solo traveling and hostels is like, drinking is a big part of the culture, but that doesn't mean that you have to drink. It also doesn't mean that you need to get blackout. Like, you could just have one drink at the hostel bar and, you know, you can still meet people, or you don't even have to actually have an alcoholic drink. You could just get like a Coke or something. So you don't have to. So I just want to end off this video just by saying this, okay? This is a very important thing to remember while you're solo traveling, and that is, not everywhere you go, you're going to make really great friends. I feel like the backpacking, like, community, whatever, kind of like glamorizes it a lot and is always like, making so many friends, just being a free little bird. I made this amazing friend and we traveled on and on for weeks after this and like whatever. But that's not always the case. Don't feel too upset. Don't be too hard on yourself if you are in a city where you just aren't really clicking with the people. Maybe the hostel that you got isn't really that social, or maybe the crowds of people there at the time aren't great, or sometimes it could be good vibes but you just don't really click with anyone. Or also, you know, don't force anything. You know, you are gonna meet people who you do not like. So if you're not feeling super social every now and then, don't feel like, oh my god, I need to go out and start meeting people. Like, it's fine. Just let everything flow. Just let it all happen. I understand that it is very nerve-wracking and I get so nervous every trip I go on, but it's always really good. And yeah, you might have those lower moments, but it won't be forever. It'll pass. Just once you get to the next city, you got a clean slate, okay? So, my loves, I hope that this could kind of help you out a little bit. Remember, you don't need to overthink it. I do wish that I had seen a video like this before I set off for my first solo trip, because I really didn't know really what to expect or what to do. I just kind of was like, oh, okay, I'm just here in this hostel. So yeah, I hope that this helped you guys. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer them. So my lovelies, I will see you in our next video and goodbye.